Hassan and Cenk got banned from going to the UK. Censorship, direct Israeli intervention, the continuation of British Israeli cuckoldry, the Labour Party being a reactionary co-opted element of British politics. All of that combined in one story. But who cares about Hassan not going? It's far more important to talk about the true intellectual giant, Mr. Cenk over here, not being able to enter UK because of anti-Turkish discrimination.
Were you told why you'd been banned?
No, I only know through the reporting on the Times. They said that, that I had criticized the king. I'm sorry, Israel, or same thing. And so that was unacceptable. By the way, I can criticize the British government all I like. I can criticize the king all I like. I can criticize anyone on planet Earth all I like, except Israel. So now you know who rules you.
Who rules us?
Israel, obviously.
Well,
I mean, in British history that the gravest offense is insulting the king. No. I've insulted Israel, apparently. Now you know who your new king is.
He's pissed the fuck off. Cenk going off, dude. Ankh is fucking pissed. Ankh is sweaty. Ankh is pissed. Ankh is circumcising the British like a true janissary, okay?
It's not the gravest offense in this country. You can insult the king as much as you like in this country.
No, I'm saying historically. Of course not today.
Yeah, today you can't insult Israel.
I'm glad you started where you've started there, because I did want to ask you about something you said. And again, I don't know the reason you've been banned either. We don't have that information from the Home Secretary, but I know what your critics have said about you, so I'll make our conversation in part about that. In your conversation with Piers Morgan yesterday, you said it's ironic to say we're banning criticism of Israel by saying our government is controlled by Israel. And based on what you just said to me a moment ago, when you say our government, do you mean the UK government? Do you really believe it is controlled by Israel?
No, until they banned me, I didn't think that necessarily at all. I was saying about the American government, and the American government is indisputable. The Israeli lobby gives to 94% of Congress. They're the number one lifetime donor to Joe Biden, to Donald Trump, to all of our leaders. And American media, now apparently the British government says you must ignore the evidence of your eyes and ears. It is our most essential command. And by the way, they're not alone. Big Pharma also controls the American Congress, and so does big oil and defense contractors. A lot of people don't know this because American media keeps it hidden from you, but America legalized bribery. That happened in Supreme Court decisions in 76, 78, and then, of course, famously in Citizens United. So people can just purchase our politicians. The Adelson family alone has given Donald Trump over $300 million to win these elections.
When you said, certainly your critics say that you said that 94% of Congress is essentially funded by Israel, do you mean Jews via lobby groups? Because that's different, isn't it? Jewish people in America who have stuff to say, like other lobby groups have stuff to say, that's slightly different, isn't it, than Israel controls Congress. Do you really mean Jews control Congress?
Yeah, no, look, not at all, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Two reasons. Number one, as I explained to everyone, this isn't, this actually at the core of it has nothing to do with Israel. Israel's the tip of the iceberg. It's a symptom. The cause of the problem is the money in politics, corruption. Literally anyone can buy our politics.
It's imperialism, Cenk. It's capitalism, blad. Money in politics is just capitalism, blad. Your fucking little boy cousin, little boy toy has tried to explain this to you for fucking decades now, blad. Like, just say capitalism for fuck's sakes. Why can't you think in systems? Oh my God, fucking boomer so close to truth, yet he refuses it.
If Britain wanted to, you could buy our politicians. And everyone has bought our politicians. They're the most deeply corrupt people on planet Earth. So all the Israeli lobby has done is figure out the same thing as the drug companies, etc. Hey, these guys are up for sale. And you'd actually be irrational if you weren't buying American politicians. Now, why is...
Yeah, but the meme is that always in this system, politicians can be bought, be it through official channels such as American lobby systems or inefficient channels where you can just purchase them under the table. This is, again, a systemic problem in which access to capital for a particular political candidate has an almost 100% reciprocal effect on how successful they are in a particular campaign. Therefore, if access to capital influences whether you win an election, it is not true democracy, because players that have capital granted to them by capitalists de facto have a leg up, sometimes a giraffe-sized leg up in the competition against candidates who have to rely on grassroots funding or just run off of their own money.
Not all Jews. Well, of course, it's not all Jews. All Jews don't agree. That's a preposterous and I would say anti-Semitic thing to say. I have Jewish family. Hold on.
Hang on.
I
Can
have
I
Jewish
explain myself,
family.
given that you've just suggested I might have been anti-Semitic? Can I explain why I asked you the difference in that particular instance between Israeli and Jewish? Is that when you talk about Israel buying Congress, that conjures a particular thing.
Yeah, I don't give a shit that it conjures it. I do not give a flying fucking shit at this point what it fucking conjures. It's been 2 years of active genocide. It's been fucking 70, 80 years of active colonization and active, passive acts of genocide and ethnic cleansing. If you do not understand the fucking difference between criticizing Zionism and being anti-Semitic, at this fucking point, you are supposed to be the one that educates himself. You are supposed to be the one that elevates themselves to a status which can participate in this particular conversation. I owe you fucking nothing when it comes to constantly having to redefine and re-explain myself about the crazy shit in your fucking head about what I'm actually saying and what I am actually saying, which is a strong dislike and activism against an apartheid, genocidal, fascistic system, not regime, system that exists in the current occupied territory of Palestine. That's it. We're done. I don't care. Go to another creator. Okay, sure. Ooh, no, like this show, and I would argue most shows at this point are supposed to have managed to adjust to the new reality that criticizing Zionism does not always have to carry 2 hours of self-explanation.
But if American Jews want to donate to AIPAC, want to donate and lobby politicians, that's perfectly acceptable. That's why I asked you that distinction. It's not because I'm anti-Semitic.
Okay, so let's break that down a little bit further. Okay, so
Should Russian individuals with dual citizenship in the Russian Federation be able to lobby Washington? Should they be able to invest in particular political parties in Washington? The fact that they're dual citizens of America and Russia, and you saying that they serve the Russian Federation, implies great amounts of Russophobia. You're implying they cannot be true Americans, and that, de facto in their Russian blood, they have alliance towards Russia, even though they're American citizens. Why shouldn't we accept money from dual Russian citizens? Why shouldn't we accept RIPAC, Russian Federation PAC in Washington, that simply wants to protect the rights of Russians in the United States and wants to fight Russophobia all over the world? Oh, but it's not the same. No, how is it not? 15 million plus dead Russians, World War II. Lebensraum plan of Nazi Germany, completely based on the complete, absolute extermination of Slavic peoples, Ukrainians, Belarusians, Russians, as the way to establish themselves in their future colonies. Yes, I will make the fucking parallel, motherfucker. Therefore, you are following Nazi talking points from before World War II and during World War II, that there is a Slavic Bolshevik menace that wants to change and corrupt the Western world. Whenever you say that we should not accept money from Russian dual citizen multimillionaires or billionaires in the United States of America when it comes to American politics, how dare you spew this Nazi bigotry against their fellow Russian American citizens? Okay, these two things are the same. They are the same. The context about a dehumanization and mass murder during World War II being reintroduced into the mainstream in the 21st century, simply being applied to one group of people and not being applied to another when it comes to criticizing their quote-unquote generalization, and when it comes to how long and how much we need to over-explain our intentions when we say that, probably if a Russian dual citizen who has $100 million in their bank account paying influencers or paying politicians in Senate probably had something to do with them wanting to stir politics towards a pro-Russian perspective. Yet if I say this, everybody's like, yeah, that makes sense. But if I imply the same thing of a American dual Israeli citizen member of an organization doing the same thing. For some reason, I need to go on a 20-minute monologue about how actually I don't imply that Jews control America. I am implying that this unsinkable airship carrier that Americans have created in the Middle East also very often uses the funds that America gives them back in the United States themselves so that they can push their own nationalist fascist agenda in their domestic territories. Blah, 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 blah. Why do I have to say this every fucking time? Fuck you. Additional fuck you, because on this show, I additionally don't fucking have to do any of this because I owe nothing through my heritage, through my background to any of these fucking groups. So goodbye. Thank you very much. Let's not forget that, while cultural Marxism is anti-Semitic, it's also anti-communist and, of course, anti-Slav and anti-Roma and anti-gay and, yes, and anti-Asian and anti-black. Like, of course. You think they would have fucking played Kumbaya with the African German colonies if they had won? The fuck are we talking about? Everything gets shot or enslaved and castrated. Anyways, no objections. No objections. I'm glad I have fucking normal people in chat. I'm tired of adjusting to these fucking sentimentalities 24/7. And I'm not just talking about Israel. All this is fucking Western approach to dialogue. No, you need to get more context before you come and talk to me about shit that I obviously have spent a lot more time studying. Why am I supposed to continuously fucking dumb everything down? I'm talking in like high-level conversations such as the ones that Cenk is having with this lady. I'm not talking about like, I have a whole show that I started with Mike and Freda that is, reaction that is supposed to talk to lib, centrists, and right-wing. There, of course, it's readjusted. Right? Here, it makes no sense. You're bringing on a guy that's been running this particular show that's very obviously not ever been, this particular guy outwardly fucking anti-Semitic, and then you bring him on to force him to explain why his dislike and commentary against a fascist genocidal regime comes from a well-intentioned place and not because he fucking hates Jews.
Like I said, anyone can purchase Congress. So that if you're an American citizen, you can do that. So does that mean that they represent all Jewish people? Of course not. Some of the best fighters in the peace movement and against Israel's war crimes are Jewish folks. Now, both in America and in the UK, Zach Polanski is terrific, the leader of the Green Party. Bernie Sanders is terrific. Literally, some of our best fighters are Jewish Americans, Jewish Brits, etc. I have Jewish family. I grew up with nothing but Jewish friends, and they're not for these wars. They're not for this genocide. So,
of course,
are most of the people contributing to AIPAC and the Israeli lobby Jewish? Probably, but not all. There's tons of Christian Zionists, and they also contribute. So what unites them is not their religion. What unites them is their ideology, which is Zionism in this case.
Can I ask you, you use the word genocide there, and again, your critics who say this is a justified ban, again, we don't know the reasons for the ban, but your critics say that you describe the nation of Israel's actions as genocide, and you're within your rights to do so. It's not been established as truth, but you're within your rights to do so.
It's definitely true.
All right. Well, we'll let the ICC make the judgment in the appropriate way. You've described Israel as barbaric and savage. You've claimed Israel uses Jews as human shields. You've claimed that the global war on terror was a global war against Israel's enemies. That America. We've talked about Congress, you talked about it being occupied by Israel. On those words, your critics claim that you're sitting dangerously close to the kind of language that is creating the kind of conspiratorial fever that's led to a huge amount of anti-Semitism.
Feelings of one group of people is far more important than criticizing a state apparatus actively throwing people off of balconies and blowing up entire fucking neighborhoods. Makes a lot of sense. Now apply that same logic to any other conflict zone. You don't do it. Do it because Jews are a special protected category, because they're elves or some fucking magical beings, which is inherently incredibly fucking anti-Semitic. Am I supposed to do another like Russian Federation parallel, or is it
our streets? Now, we cannot lay all of that. We cannot lay all of that at your feet. Of course we can't. But do you ever question the language you use?
No, not at all. I question whether it should be tougher.
Damn, monk. Didn't know these power levels you had in you.
We're all going to ask ourselves later, what did we do to stop a genocide? A genocide was happening not only in our lives, but with our money, especially if you're an American. They're literally robbing us to pay for the most disgusting genocide you'll ever see. And so what people who are Zionists and fervent supporters of Israel do is they hide behind anti-Semitism, and they use anti-Semitism as a weaponized charge to defend the disgusting, immoral actions of a foreign government. Governments do terrible things. They don't represent all the people in that government. I was born in Turkey, and I'm an American citizen now, but my God, I hope that people don't judge me as a Turk based on the Turkish government, or even based as an American based on what the American government has done. This is obvious to any elementary thinker, except the Israeli propagandists try to manipulate everyone by saying, no, the only country on earth you're not allowed to criticize is Israel, because
Oh, she's dead already.
we're going to hide behind Jewish civilians. And by the way, cause them harm because you don't represent them and you're pretending to.
For what it's worth, and I speak to the British public every day for 3 hours, 5 days a week, nobody in this country thinks you can't criticise Israel. I want to ask
I just got banned for it.
Well,
Okay, rest in peace to this lady. We buying mahogany coffins, or what we buying? What's up, Barry? The hatred towards Israel is only rising by the day. They hate us because we defend ourselves.
The hatred toward Israel is only rising by the day.
Yeah, well, I think that you're right, but that doesn't.
Can we watch this live that is not behind a paywall? Or if somebody's got that whole interview, please drop it.
I mean, okay, so they hate us, and therefore we shouldn't defend ourselves. They hate us because we do defend ourselves, and because people distort our defensive action. So what do? Stop defending ourselves?
well, we'll see. We'll see exactly what the reasons were given, and then you may be right that has happened. But people,
But that is the reason they gave.
no, that's
They
the
gave it to the
government.
press.
That's the government. I'm talking about the people of the country. Can I ask
Oh, the
you?
people of the country are beautiful. They agree with me.
Well, not all of them do, but can I ask you about this conversation that's been reported by Axios between Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu? Clearly, Donald Trump has given him all 4 barrels. Do you think Netanyahu will listen to that and change anything that he's doing?
So we're talking at an absolutely critical time, and people are going to get to see with their own eyes and ears what happens next. That's a great question. I believe, so it's obvious that Netanyahu is not going to listen to Trump. Netanyahu never listens to anyone, never listens to Trump, never listens to America, never tells the truth. He's a genocidal monster. And the fact that we've given him even $1 is a great shame and is a stain on the morality of all of our countries. So no, the genocidal monster will not stop. He will attack. He said it yesterday.
This, for example, is a particular type of consent manufacturing that Cenk is doing here, because Cenk is talking to a particular brand of centrist and liberal, in which he is pulling on their patriotic heartstrings to pitch Israel as an enemy from the perspective of, hey, they will never listen to us. This is a rogue state. Why do we keep supporting him, etc., etc. And if it works, it works. Mashallah, I don't really care.
So he said, no, I'm never going to
I'm a utilitarian when it comes to anti-Zionism.
stop. I'm going to keep attacking Lebanon. I'm going to bomb Beirut. Ben Gvir is talking about bombing the civilians in the
Do you
suburbs of
accept that the
Beirut.
bombs are coming the other direction as well?
No, that's not true. In 2024, Hezbollah and Israel
Yes, today Ukraine hit St. Petersburg during some sort of like summit that Putin was trying to organize over there. Now Russia is justified to nuke Ukraine. Yeah, this lady would not make that argument. Some missiles from Lebanon do go into Israel proper. Does that, because obviously Israel invaded Lebanon, does that now justify Israel to completely annihilate Lebanon? Of course it doesn't. But we only ask these questions when it comes to Israel's actions, always, exclusively when it comes to Israel's.
made a ceasefire deal. Hezbollah, until the Iran war began, never violated it. Israel violated it over 1,000 times. There's a ceasefire in Gaza right now. Israel hasn't listened to it at
But you
all.
accept-
They've murdered over 900 people since the
you
ceasefire.
presumably accept
It will
that.
not stop murdering
Okay.
all of their neighbors. So we've got to stop funding these people. This is a moral stain on all of us, and our governments are so sick that they serve these Zionists and they're making us
Okay.
morally complicit in these crimes against humanity. So what's going to happen next is Israel's going to drive us further into the war.
Okay, you've
and
used-
we would be
if I-
insane to follow them.
if I can-
Insane.
If I can come back in, you've used the genocide word a lot. You've used genocidal a lot, and you've directly said that Benjamin Netanyahu is essentially a genocidal
You scared?
maniac. You said to me a moment ago that the Gaza situation, will go down as the most disgusting genocide you'll ever see. Again, death is death. Dead children are dead children. It's an utter tragedy, however and wherever it happens. But is that not the kind of inflammatory language that might have contributed to being banning? Because let me finish my question. More disgusting than the Holocaust. More disgusting than.
Do you think he was alive during the Holocaust? He said that I saw, that I will ever see. He's implying in his lifetime. How old do you think Cenk is? I mean, maybe this is a flirting moment. Like, damn, Cenk, you look really good for a 98-year-old.
In our lifetime.
More they've all been, well, Cambodia,
Okay, there you go. Okay, exactly. He said in our lifetime. The fuck?
and Rwanda have both been in my lifetime. Cambodia, Rwanda, the Holocaust. That's the kind of inflammatory stuff that does get people fired up against Jews in Britain. It does get people fired up in Jews against Britain. I've seen it happen.
No, that's insane. So wait a minute. You want me to just give a pass to this foreign government?
No.
Then how no. These are all tricks. These are all tricks to say, don't criticize this way, don't criticize that way. No, you're immoral if you're not deeply criticizing the Israeli government, if you're not deeply criticizing the slaughter of 23,000 children. So we were all told after October 7th, including by me, that you should be disgusted by the actions of Hamas. They killed 36 kids. What did they have to do with the government of Israel? 36
Were you
kids,
disgusted
right?
by the actions of Hamas?
What's that?
You mentioned the actions of Hamas. You were required to be disgusted by. Were you disgusted by them?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. I led the charge saying this is unacceptable. You can't kill civilians. If you're for the peace movement, you have to be for peace. If you're for nonviolence, you have to be for nonviolence for everyone. So your heart should break over the 1,200 people killed, the 36 kids killed. Now everyone agrees there, and the media said absolutely you should hate the Palestinians. Look at what they did, right? And they said over and over again, they're terrorists. Okay, I agree. 36 kids, terrible. 1,200 people, terrible. On the other side, 76,000 dead at a bare minimum, 23,000, a stadium full of children murdered, 23,000. And they go, not as big a deal. Hey, don't drive hate. We get to murder. Don't drive hate. Don't drive.
He is fucking murdering her. Like Cenk. Holy fucking shit. Like the rhetoric for the audience, the pitch, the very real emotion, like he's actually pissed the fuck off, is fantastic. The little vibrato in the voice, it is very, 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 very good. This is a 10 out of 10 performance. This is I'd hire this guy to work for my intelligence agency, that's for sure.
Hey, well, how about you stop murdering children? Did that ever occur to the Israelis? And then they blame other people for they're saying, oh, you have offended me. Israeli feelings are more important than Palestinian children. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Has Britain banned anyone for, trying to actually, look, I don't know. Britain is a different thing than America. But in terms of the Palestinians, no one cares about their feelings. Only the Zionists say you have to care about our feelings. And our feelings are paramount and more important than your lives.
Well, again,
so I'm not interested in that.
I have to leave it there just for time reasons. It's time for our bulletin. But thank you for joining me, Cenk Uygur.
Like, I'm going to say a crazy thing. She, in her head, she thought she was doing a good thing. She was like, I'm going to ask him, quote unquote, tough questions. I'm going to hear him out and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the thing with the liberal status quo is giving somebody a fair time during a critical interview almost always implies defending some sort of status quo, which is incredibly bloody. But because it is a part of the status quo, it is not considered bloody. So from her perspective, arguing Zionist talking points is simply being a fair conversation partner. It is non-ideological. It has nothing to do with passively supporting the Palestinian genocide when she brings up these points, right? Again, this is the liberal brain rot that so many people have that is so difficult to pull out of. So when she makes points about like, you're using these words, but isn't that kind of icky when it comes to being adjusted and being thrown at this particular ethno-religious category of people? She genuinely thinks that she's just being fair to the conversation, while not understanding that she's indirectly facilitating Zionist talking points, really. Or they're just stuck in the boomer mentality. Probably, yeah. False balance. False balance.